Welcome to Subramani. With a bunch of banks collapsing, Joe Biden had to come and make a statement saying that the American banking system was safe. So, if a president of the country has to come and make a statement that the banking system is safe, I completely agree that it is very safe for people in the US who have invested in SVB bank or Signature or any of those banks. Your deposits are safe, nothing else. What happens in the bank bailout is, who really needs the bailout are the deposit holders, of course, the employees, the vendors, and all those people who took a little bit of risk with the bank. But of course, there is no bailout available for the shareholders. At what price will you be bailed out? So the first person who goes to zero are the equity shareholders. So equity shareholders, preference shareholders, tier 1, tier 2, whatever you want to call it, all those people would be taken to the cleaners and all their money is completely gone. Now, when the president of US says the money is safe, the taxpayers will not have to pay, we will pay it from some fees to be paid by the bankers. You can rest assured that it will be the taxpayers who pay, either in the form of more taxes or in the form of more fees in the future, or in a worst case scenario by inflation. Now, what is happening in the US is, the US is printing notes. Unfortunately, China or Japan are not biting enough. Europe doesn't have money. There is no question of the Gulf having enough money to buy the US treasury bonds. So, which means Saudi Arabia, Japan, China are refusing to bite the reserve currency theory, right? So, if you are holding your money in dollars, you have to worry about getting a bad return or getting a negative return on your deposits. The interest rates are pretty low. Interest rates are pretty low means that interest rate that you're getting, the nominal rate that you get minus inflation, is a negative figure. So if you are holding money in dollar deposits, you are definitely eroding value, and more such bailouts happen. Remember, this is bailing out banks which have lost money in lending to venture capital. This is an unending saga. It will never come to halt unless the market forces force such lenders like SVB bank to stay away from such risky lending. So if your money as a deposit, if your money given as a deposit is used for high risk investments like cryptocurrency and venture capital funding, obviously somebody needs to have a backstop, and that is the government of the US. How will the US government fund it? Either in the form of more taxes, which is hurting everybody because everybody in US has a very high taxpayer base, and or inflation. Inflation actually hurts everybody around the world. The American inflation will hurt everybody around the world because the dollar as a strong currency will disappear. So let's hear what Biden said. Biden said Americans can have confidence in the banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them. And he said this, of course, in a televised interview. Is it really safe? Well, it is safe, of course. Your $100 will come back to you as $100, but will the $100 buy the same thing which it would have bought if inflation was not so high? Answer is, I don't know. So is inflation going away in the US in a hurry? No, inflation can't go away, especially with such bailouts. Will the bailout stop to 1 or 2 banks? No, I think it will spread to 20-30 banks. Who will be punished for this? The taxpayer and or the public, because of inflation, right? All this money has to come from somewhere. Will it come from fees? Yes, if it will come from fees. Who is rescuing it? FDIC. So how will FDIC get money? The better banks will have to pay a higher premium for it, right? It's as simple as that. If everybody is paid out an insurance claim, what will happen is the premium will go up. So the FDIC premium that the banks pay will go up. So is it a good thing for banks? Well, it is good and it is bad, because it is sending out a signal that your deposits are safe, but it is also sending out a signal that you can afford to lend to anybody you want. So that's not a very good thing, because banks can now literally lend to anybody they want. They know that there is a backstop, that the government will bail them out. Some employees may suffer. I don't believe it. Even in India, Yes Bank employees did not suffer. Yes, tier 1 bondholders suffered, shareholders suffered, but those were supposed to be the risk takers, so they suffered. But the people who sold tier 1 bonds to retired people did not suffer. They did not pay from their pockets. They have gone on to better jobs in better banks, safer banks, and they are doing well. So in a bailout, you have to see who is the real beneficiary. So the lenders to SVB bank, the depositor holders, the employees, everybody else. I mean, the shareholders are the ones who are taken to the cleaners. All others have got protected. When the Fed stepped in and said we will protect everybody, the market may have believed it or not believed it, but the equity markets just did not believe it. The markets are still jittery about most of the American banks. The UK business of SVB got taken over by HSBC for £1. We do not know what is the impact of this. We do not know what is the size of the problem in the UK. German banks were still very reluctant to bite this. They were in jitters. France said there is nothing for us to worry about. So European banking system and the American banking system, there is a lot of talk about them being very stable and good, to be good, but I seriously am looking for evidence saying that they are very strong in their banking. They seem to be hoping that anything that they do, they will get a backstop in the Fed or the government, or somebody will pull them out. This is not a good indicator for the currency worldwide. So everywhere you feel, wherever dollar is to be very strong and as a base currency, right? Even illicit money, it made sense. If you have black money, it made sense to keep it in dollars, because the dollar would not get demonetized. You don't have to worry about those things. So people used to hold dollar all over the world, right? Even the illegitimate money, black money, everything would be in dollars, because it was easy to store and easy to carry, right? One note is 8,000 rupees. So 8,000 would be, in terms of 500 rupees, 16 notes. That's very difficult to carry. Of course, even in terms of 2,000 rupee notes, there are 8 notes to be carried, right? Or there are 40 notes to be carried. So with all that, you don't want to, a lot of illegitimate money also keeps getting in dollars, and illegitimate money very quickly runs away from the dollar. Where will it go to? Maybe it will go to gold, maybe it will go to some other currency, maybe it will go to rupee, maybe it will go to pound, maybe it will go to euro, I don't know. No. But the weakening of the dollar, or the de-dollarization, may have just been triggered off by the Biden statement that your money is safe. Your money is safe, but it is not getting protected against inflation. German, Swiss authorities, American people have confidence that they will find the money where they need them. In the joint statement, the Fed and the Treasury Department and SVB said all their money is starting Monday and and the American taxpayer will not have to foot the bill. I can't even believe that American taxpayer won't have to foot the bill. The Fed announced it would make extra funding available to them, and that in a joint statement, the Fed said the FDIC and the Treasury Department and SVB depositors would have access to all the money starting on Monday, and that American taxpayers will not have to foot the bill. This is very difficult to believe. In some form or the other, the deposit holders and the taxpayers, or the people holding the currency, somebody will have to bear the foot the bill. So it will be the taxpayers, yes, partially. Then partially it will be from the FDIC's money. So FDIC will now increase the deposit insurance for future deposits, and of course some portion will be borne by the shareholders of SVB. So these are the people who will bear. So if you are holding money in the US, you have to worry about inflation, because the real rate that you are getting is negative. If you are holding the US dollar abroad, thinking that it's a good rate that you're getting, well, you're not getting a good rate, simply because the inflation in the US is going to be high. Till Saudi Arabia, China, Japan come in and buy their bonds in a big way. That's not happening. So with this kind of a financial mess that the banking system is in, will Europe and US get any money from Asia which are sitting with surpluses, or will they stop buying? They'll not completely stop buying because they need markets to sell, and Europe and US are very important markets, so they will keep. So it's a very difficult thing, but the de-dollarization will definitely start, and more people would shift to other currencies. They are just going to reduce the risk of being in the dollar. It could be gold, it could be euro, it could be anything. It could be a Brazilian currency, Japanese yen, Chinese yuan, could be just anywhere, right? People would just be reducing the risk in dollar. What can somebody like India do when they have got a lot of dollar deposits? They could buy real estate in the US, right? So buy assets which won't fall so much, or even if they fall, the fall will be less than the dollar. So some of these things will happen. Not everything that I said will happen, but the de-dollarization process, at least the word de-dollarization itself is, I think, 2021-22 that it started gaining momentum. In 2023 it will gain more momentum. So some of these things will happen. You have to worry about American inflation. This also means Indian companies in US are likely to earn less. Indian people staying in the US are likely to earn less. All this will have some impact on the Indian economy also. Should we worry about it? No, not really. There are a lot of other things to worry about if you are an Indian. The dollar is not something for you to worry, but if you are excessively invested in the US, learn to reduce your expectation from the American market, because inflation is going to take its toll. Thank you.